This movie absolutely changed my life. It's The Bucket List with Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, released in 2007. I know ages ago, but I want to talk about sort of how I found this movie and also how it impacted my life. So, picture the scene. I'm working at my dad's business in the Drakensberg in South Africa, and I was married at the time. Things were kind of iffy, right? Working in a parent's business, working in a family business is always a bit tricky because, like, you're not getting paid as much as you'd like to, and you don't have as much control. Or I specifically didn't have as much control as I'd like in the business. I couldn't make the decisions I wanted to. I had given up a corporate job, right? So sacrificed my corporate job and moved to this rural area. I was married at the time, as I said, and things were kind of okay. Like, life was fine, life was good, but I wasn't fully satisfied. Like, I knew that there was more that I wanted to do. I wanted to have control of my time. I was like, fine that I wasn't working at a corporate job. I didn't have to wear a suit and tie anymore. I could wear this essentially, but life was kind of, I just knew that there was more. And I come across this movie. Now, Morgan Freeman, Morgan Freeman, right? Shawshank Redemption, a bunch of other movies. He's amazing. I absolutely love his voice. I love his character. I love his facial expressions. I love everything about the man. And then Jack Nicholson is just a classic. Like, these two characters together in a movie. And I remember when this came out, as I said, we were living in the Bundus. We were living in kind of the middle of nowhere. I can't remember if it was on cinema or whatever the case may be, but somehow I managed to get access to it. I can't remember if I downloaded it online. Back then, we didn't have Netflix. We didn't have sort of HBO or any of these streaming services. If you wanted to watch a movie, you either got the DVD or, you downloaded it online through some Napster or some peer-to-peer network. I can't remember exactly how I got this movie. I just knew that I was interested in it. When it was out in cinema, I knew that I wanted to watch it but didn't get a chance to see it. And I managed to get a copy. I can't remember if it was actually streaming on sort of cable TV or I downloaded it, whatever the case may be. I play this movie, sit down with my ex-wife, and I'm watching this movie, and I'm fully fascinated. I remember hearing all of the stories. It's like the way it goes is Jack Nicholson is a multi-millionaire, probably billionaire, got everything in his life, multiple ex-wives, and he's got everything. There's nothing that he needs to ask for. He's got a butler, he's got people to do things for him, an assistant. Like, his life is like fully built out, and he's highly successful, but he has a health issue, so he ends up in the hospital. Morgan Freeman, on the other side, totally fine. He's got family, he's got kids, grandkids, he's a mechanic, and he's worked sort of this job for ages, and like, successful. He has his home, typical American sort of family sort of vibe, right? But he also has this medical issue. So he's also in the hospital, and these two characters end up next to each other. And one day, and if you haven't seen the movie, I apologize for the spoiler, but one of the days that they're sitting next to, or laying next to each other now, Jack Nicholson is he's an asshole. He's not a good person. He's not a good character. He's obviously fully upset that he's at this hospital and he's got to go through all these tests and blah, blah, blah. He can't have his conveniences that he usually has, issues at like the business, blah, blah, blah. He's just got challenges. And Morgan Freeman one day takes out a notepad and he starts making a list. He starts writing down some things on a notepad. And Jack is like, hey, what are you writing? And so he says, it's a bucket list. So Jack is like, what's a bucket list? It's like, okay, these are all the things that I want to die. And he grabs the paper from Morgan. Now, obviously, these are not the names in the movie, but follow along. So he reads this list and he grabs a pen and he says, okay, well, this is shit. Like, this is a small thing to do. He had like minor things on that list that he want, like just simple, silly, basic things that to Morgan were like big deals, like things that were within his reach, within his comfort level, within his income or amount of money that he had. And Jack is like, No. If you're gonna do something, you got to do it big. And so he's like he's writing, and they're discussing all of these things. What ended up happening is Jack helped him combine his things on his list, like climbing Mount Everest. Now imagine these are like 60, 70-year-old men, right? Not to say that it's not possible, but I mean, in the movie, it was clear that Jack probably wasn't going to climb the mountain. Morgan maybe would have managed it, but nonetheless, that was one of the things. The other one was, I don't know, they had like flying to different places and, meeting a girl at a bar, and like just a couple of things that these two gentlemen wanted to do. Anyway, so Jack has all the money in the world and says to him, okay, when we get out of this place, we're going to go do these things. And Morgan is like, what? Like, no, this is just a dream. It's like, well, why not live? Like, why don't you just live a full life? Why don't you just do the things that you want to do? Like, if you really want to do something, just go do it. They end up on this adventure. Now, at the end of the movie, it's really sad. It's kind of a tearjerker. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But when that movie ended, I was like, yeah, my dreams are too small. The things that I want are just play. Like I the things like dream home, fine. Maybe big home, expensive, sure, fine. Big things. But I realized that, okay, I need to make a list. So that was the first thing. At the time when we were using Evernote, I opened up Evernote and I was like, okay, what are all the things? And I made this list. I actually have that list still. It was 101 things. At that time, I had things like going for Hajj and Umrah, to Saudi Arabia to go do the pilgrimage. I had a bunch of things on my list, like places I wanted to go visit, all of those things. Okay, fine. So I had 101 things. I closed Evernote that day. I really enjoyed the movie, and that was it. Like 2007, 2008, somewhere, wherever I watched that movie, and I forgot about it. Then a couple of years later, I think it maybe have been 2 or 3 years later, my ex-wife and I, we were still together, and we were moved into her dad's place, and I had quit the job with my dad. I was totally frustrated, and I left. I open up this list in my Evernote, and I'm looking at all of these things, and I'm saying to myself, oh, okay, I wanted to do this. It's like, okay, I did that thing. Oh, I wanted to go see these places. I wanted to go travel. And I was thinking to myself, well, when I was 33 at the time, it's like, when am I going to go do these things? Like, I wanted to go to Japan, and I wanted to go to Thailand, and I wanted to like go to Egypt, and I wanted to visit New York City, and I wanted to write a book. And there's still a lot of things that I haven't done, but I had this list of things that I wanted to do. And I just asked myself the question, when am I going to fucking do all of these things? When am I actually going to get off my ass and do them? Now, of course you have these things that are in our head. It's like, oh, when I'm happy, I'll go do this thing. When am I going to be happy? Or when I am making enough money? Or when I get past this hurdle, or when I get a promotion at the job, or when I, whatever. Like, there's always these conditions that we have on the things that we want. And most of the time it's around happiness. And I was like, well, actually, I need to do these things so that I could be happy. Because there's no point, like in the movie, the message from that movie was, there's no point in sitting around waiting for the thing to happen. You got to get off your ass and go and do them. Like, just figure it out, find a way, make a plan. Don't beg, borrow, or steal, but just make a plan, figure it out. And I was sitting there thinking, okay, I got to do something. I just have to. I can't sit around anymore. I'm 33 years old. What if I felt at that time like my life was over. I was just like in such a bad state in the relationship with my ex-wife, living in the situation that I was, earning very little money. I think I just started freelancing at that time, starting to do this online thing. I did some trading, lots of failures up to that point. I was just miserable. And I think I rewatched that movie as well, and I opened up this list and I was like, damn, I have to go do these things. And that set me on this path to research going to Thailand. I found Tim Ferriss's book probably because of that movie. Like, all of these were inciting incidents that led up to me moving to Thailand and living in this like being in this room right now, talking to you on this video. That movie, together with a whole bunch of other things, were catalysts in my life. Now, you may not realize, like I did, I didn't realize that that was a thing. Like I didn't realize that that incident was like coupled. Like I've told the story a couple of times, but I don't think I realized how important of an event that movie, or how important of a incident watching that movie and making that list and then making the decision was on my life. And it wasn't like I got coached or anybody told me like, hey, you got to go do this thing. They were just inklings. They were just gut feelings. They were just instincts. Like, oh, make the list. Oh, review the list. Oh, damn. Okay, I got to go do something. And all these decisions led me to this point. Now, why is this important to you? Well, you probably have had moments like that. You've probably had situations where you thought of doing something, but maybe because you didn't have enough money, or because you weren't in the job, or because whatever relationship you were in, or you had to lose weight before whatever the thing is that you think is holding you back, it's not the reason. The reason you're not doing it is because of fear, because of anxiety, because you're not sure what's going to happen on the other side. Maybe you haven't planned enough. Maybe you haven't thought about it enough. Or maybe you feel like, I'm not feeling confident enough that I can get that thing. You don't need the confidence to go get it. You need to get off your ass, make a decision, and try. You just have to try. And at some point, maybe there's a bit of luck that happens by the fact that maybe you're speaking to somebody or whatever the case may be. But 90% of the things that are going to come to your life, the 90% of the things that you want in your life is going to happen because you make a decision, because you take action. I took action. That's why I'm here. I followed my gut feeling. Now, granted, I haven't achieved everything that I want. I made a vision board the other day, and there's a ton of things that I did that I still don't have in my life, and I still want in my life, still milestones that I want to achieve. If you're looking at this on YouTube, you can see that I have 6,000 something subscribers, and I want 10,000. I want 100,000. That's on my bucket list, and I'm working towards it. That's why I'm making these videos, right? Sure, it's taking a bit of time, but that's not affecting me pursuing the thing. Because the decision is I want 100,000 followers. And so this is the thing I need to do to get to 100,000 followers. So I'm in pursuit. I'm trying. That's all you need to do. Make the decision, take some action to try. So if you like this video, if you like the message, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, comment below. Have you seen this movie, The Bucket List, and how did it impact your life? Or if you want to comment below and tell me, what are the incidents in your life that's affected where you are right now, what you're doing right now? Leave that comment below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.